Hey everyone, Simply Good Comics here. I thought that I need to make one last video that's a tie-up video, just to tie this all up because we have the final verdicts from basically everybody involved. So I think it's just time to let it be known and let everybody do the research for themselves. The only reason I'm doing this video is because I am still getting comments coming in, and it's people new to it, or because not everybody just lives in the comic world. Some people are just passing by, right? And that's totally understandable. But I've got comments here and there. Some a little bit angry, and some not understanding, or not understanding when the video was made. And so since the events were staggered, and it wasn't just one solid release statement by CGC or CBCS. Every video from every person is going to be different depending on what information was available at the time. So what I would say is look and see when the videos were made, and then you'll understand the points of view at those point in times. And another thing I'd like to say too is yes, we have the final verdicts now, but without all of you that actually stood up and used your voice and let it be known your thoughts and feelings, regardless of what they were. It doesn't matter what side you fall on. The fact that you let your voice be heard, and let it be heard loudly. Everybody was very vocal about how they felt and thought, and that's totally understandable. We always have to have perspective and understand that everybody looks at things a bit different, right? And that doesn't mean right or wrong, especially when we're all collectors, and in the end we all love this, and we need to remember that, right? But everybody's very passionate about something like this, right? So both sides have released a statement. You should go to their respective websites, CGC, CBCS, and read both statements. They are different. I want you to take that into account. When you read them both, there's different wordings and they have different repercussions. You could send the same book in this scenario to both grading companies, and you would get different results, and I do want you to understand that. So they are two sides of the fence on this. So I think that is something that if you are interested at this point that you should do. And then now that you have all the information, there's plenty of information out there. The owner of the company that made said book did a 30-minute video. He, on his own accord, went live at the C2E2 event and did a 30-minute video, and it's out there. It'll never go away. You can type it in on the internet, watch that for yourself, see what you think of that. You can see both sides of the statements, and everything else involved in the precedents before. Yes, there was a book before this that had 4 staples and had an acetate cover, but that was manufactured like that, and it had its own barcode that was separate from the original same book, right? Same cover that did not have. So they were 2 different books in essence because they had 2 separate barcodes. So this was a precedent. This book was a precedent, and don't let anybody tell you different, because this is the first time it's happened like this, right? And that's why everybody spoke up. For me, the people part of it, people are people, right? But the book itself was what we needed answers on, right? And by all of you speaking up, every single one of you, regardless of what side you were on, letting your voice be heard and loudly, and asking for accountability, that's the only reason we got answers. And I do want you to understand that. CGC's only post in the beginning was, "We know what we did and we stand behind it." So if we hadn't said any more, that was it. And I do want you to understand that. So if people like myself and all the other great people out in the community did not keep on questioning that answer, there never would have been more. And I want everybody on the other side of that to understand that too. I understand that, people, maybe your favorite artist was involved, or a story you really love. And I understand that too. Hey, I love Clayton Crane. Don't get me wrong. He is a fantastic artist. But we're asking for accountability from the company, not the artist, because in the end, this falls on the grading company, because we all trust them, right? And that's what we do. We trust them with our products that are worth money, to give credibility to them, correct? Because these are investments. So for me, myself, you know, that's the issue that I took with it. Because if you lose credibility, that is one of the hardest things to get back. And I do want you to understand that. But again, this is it. This is, and I want to talk a little bit about Pandora's box, because Pandora's box is now open. Yes, the verdict came out, but you know, I was talking to another great gentleman in the community, and I don't want to say his name, but he's well known, and I just, you know, I wanted to ask him a question, because myself, I always want perspective as well, because you have to always make sure. Sometimes you get clouded and you only see one thing, maybe tunnel vision. So you have to make sure to stop yourself and step back and maybe ask somebody else and see if they're on the same wavelength as you, or they see something a bit differently. And then you have to be able to take that into account and look that way too. So I asked him, I said, well, with this new precedent that they said now, because they have changed the rules, I want you to understand that. The rules have been amended for this book, okay? And they even stated that. So this book did do all of those things. So they said that the artist that is the original artist of the original book that was manufactured can, at a later date, make a new cover for that book and put it on. Okay. Or alter it, right? Or alter it. So my question was, well, okay, let's play a different game here. Now I'm going to try to keep everybody's actual name out of this, because I don't like using names. So I'm going to play a hypothetical with you that'll get the point. Say we have an artist named John Smith, okay? A famous comic book artist named John Smith. He sells out of his covers all the time. He's very well known. Everybody knows he draws the best. And say he has his own store too. So it's the johnsmith.com store. And he has his own exclusives that come through his store, right? He makes his own special covers for that store. They always sell out. And he also sells autographed versions of them that are his covers that only he gets, that he signs, that have certificates of authenticity from him. Well, in the past, if you purchased that book, if you sent it to CGC, it would get a green label, right? Well, now, since it's his store and he's the original artist, and he signed that book and it has his certificate, does it now get a blue label? That's a very good question. That's Pandora's box. And there's a lot of things down that line. I really want you to follow that vein of thinking and see where it leads you. Anything before that we knew as a certainty, we don't know anymore. And that's the whole point of this. It's not to get angry at each other as community members. We're supposed to all be together, okay, and do what's right for the community, correct? And we're supposed to keep the companies accountable. So I understand, and I'm always willing to talk with people in chat and give them the point of view. And you know what? I can totally accept when I'm wrong too, and everybody should be able to do that, right? Because we're not going to be right all the time, okay? So if I say something wrong or events happened after I said something, then I need to accept that that's the new truth, right? That I wasn't, when I said something in a point in time, there wasn't the facts in light. And I have no problem doing that, and neither should anybody else. But I do want you to think about that vein now, because now, technically, any person, artist or anything along those lines, that has their own exclusives that they make, and then they sign them, wouldn't that get a blue label? Now, it wouldn't get a yellow, and it was actually a very good gentleman in my comments today that I don't think he was very happy with what I had said at the time in my video, which wasn't current to the events that happened now, but I agreed with him. I said, I agree. And I said, things have changed. Now the rules are different, so these are the rules now. And then I posed this question to him. I said that, well, what happens now with this event, with these stores that are artist stores, and they sign their own and have their own certificate? Would that get a blue label? We don't know. And that's Pandora's box. Situations like this, we don't know. And it's not to get mad anymore. It's all done. It's all done. This is our new reality. So I guess we just navigate our way through it. And there will be some new questions every day, because things that we knew for sure, maybe now we don't know for sure. So it's going to be very interesting to play it out and see what happens, right? But I just wanted to make this video just to tie it up. This is a tie-up of everything. And the only reason I am doing this is because of the comments. And I do want to be, I want to help you out. But I hopefully... you do your own research too. Read both websites, CBCS, CGC. Read their final statements on the issue and see that they are different. CBCS says that if anything is done post-manufacturing and there are staples added, that those staples basically are considered damage, right? Basically, if you read the comments. So they said they will grade according to that. And that's one of the big differences between the two, right? Some people were saying, well, it's the same thing, blah, blah, blah. It's not the same. If you read their full statement, they do go into some detail. And it would be interesting to see what label they would give, right? But I don't know if anybody would send it in at this point, but it's moot point at this point. We're traveling new waters, and we're traveling them together, okay? And so I think the time of anger and everything is gone. That was last week when we didn't know and we didn't have answers and everything was up in there and we weren't getting answers, right? But now we just we walk through it together, and I think that it's interesting times. Myself, I'm going to be going with CBCS. I think that they earned a shot, in my opinion, and so I'm going to start an order into them and see how it goes. I've never done it before, and why not? You know what? Why not? So, but each to their own. And like I said, at this point, we're all traveling together, and we all got mad because of the things that had happened, right? If this event had never happened and this book had never been made, we would never have been mad, correct? But again, it did happen, and people spoke out, and the only reason we got answers is because those people spoke out. And I do want you to remember that. None of this would have been answered if everybody had stayed quiet. We always have to call for accountability or call for answers if there's questions that don't make sense from companies. Because if you don't, then they'll do everything, right? So that's what we got left. But anyways, collect what you love. And last thing, if you are a member, if you are subscribed, you have 6 days left for this giveaway. It's open to all, even the people that were mad at me in the comments. Please, hey, I have no problem disagreeing on a subject. We can still love comics together and disagree on certain subjects, correct? So enter in. I welcome you to be part of this channel, and I welcome your comments. If you want to debate a subject, that's totally cool, man, because I might not be right, and I totally understand that. So as long as we have open minds and we're all in the end comic book lovers, please comment, like, subscribe, and be entered in the giveaway. Have a good day, everybody. Collect what you love.